Why you probably need more sleep. Sleep is probably the most underrated performance enhancer out there. It affects your hormones, your recovery, your strength, and your ability to build muscle overall. You can train hard, eat perfectly, and still make average progress if your sleep is bad. So in this video, I'm going to break down how sleep actually works, why poor sleep destroys your gains, how much you really need, and what you can do to improve your sleep tonight. Sleep isn't just one continuous state. It happens in different cycles. First of all, light sleep. This makes up the largest portion of the night, and it's generally where your body is just relaxing and it can be woken up at any moment. Deep sleep. Deep sleep is where your body actually releases growth hormone and testosterone. It is arguably the most important sleep cycle, as without it, our body cannot repair and grow from training. And REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement. This is essentially where you start dreaming, and it's also a very important sleep cycle as it's responsible for supporting memory and finalizing any learnt tasks from the day. Why is this important? Because as a lifter, you want to try and get more total sleep, because then in theory, you'll have more sleep cycles, which means more time in deep sleep and REM sleep. This is because each sleep cycle is about 90 minutes. So if you sleep for 9 hours a night, that's in theory 6 full sleep cycles, 6 times in deep sleep and REM sleep. Whereas if you sleep 6 hours, that's only 4 sleep cycles, which makes a big difference when you think about it. So what are the consequences of poor sleep? When sleep quality or duration drop, the body shifts into a stressed state. Testosterone levels fall, cortisol rises, insulin sensitivity drops, recovery slows, appetite regulation gets worse. You don't just feel tired, your body literally becomes worse at building muscle. Studies show even a few nights of poor sleep can reduce testosterone by double-digit percentages and significantly impair recovery. And over time, poor sleep leads to weaker sessions, lower motivation, worse pumps, slower progress, and higher injury risk. In simple terms, bad sleep turns good training into average training. So how much sleep do you actually need? For most normal people, you should be sleeping around 6 to 8 hours a night. So if you're lifting weights and putting big stress on your body and trying to grow as much muscle as possible, you'd want to sleep around 9 hours or even more. I think in today's society, a lot of people think that if you sleep for too long, like 9 hours or even 10 hours a night, you're lazy and unproductive. It's seen as something that people who have no drive will do, like sleeping in. I think this is completely wrong, as for most people, you need a lot of sleep. I find for myself, if I don't sleep 9 hours or even 10 hours a night, I will always be tired, no matter what. So how can you improve your sleep tonight? Firstly, your circadian rhythm. This is your body's internal 24-hour clock. This matters because once you wake up and you get sunlight in your eyes, it knows that the day or 24 hours has started. So that means in 10, 12, 14 hours, it knows it'll be nighttime again. So if you wake up and you do not get morning sunlight, you're pushing back your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is only started each day once you get adequate sunlight in your eyes. This is because your retinas have these little nerve endings and like sensors on them which sense sunlight, not fake light, actual sunlight, and it has to be without sunglasses and without windows. So now on the opposite end of the spectrum, light at nighttime. I'm sure you've heard of this already, but blue light isn't good for you. I'll give you another thing that's also not good for you in terms of light. It's overhead lights. No matter if they're warm or blue or whatever, your body and your retinas will think that this is trying to mimic the sun. So if you have an overhead light in a room or a big lamp that's on late at night that's above your eyes, it'll be worse for you than if it was like at your eye level or below. So quick tip, instead of having on your room or overhead light, use a desk lamp or whatever that's like at your eye level when you're getting ready for bed. This is because your body will basically recognize that it's not the sun and it's still nighttime. Caffeine timing. Essentially, caffeine is a stimulant that works in your brain by binding to something called adenosine and the adenosine receptor. Adenosine is basically a chemical that has multiple functions, but one of the main ones is that it makes you feel tired. So throughout the day, body and your brain build up adenosine. It's essentially filling up a bar, and once that bar is full, it's a lot easier for you to fall asleep. Basically what caffeine does is it binds to those receptors, basically nullifying all of that adenosine feedback that you get. So essentially, if you take caffeine and your adenosine bar, let's say, is full, you won't feel the effect of you feeling tired. So it'll be a lot harder for you to sleep. And caffeine lasts in your system a long time, roughly roughly 8 to 12 hours depending on how much you take. So if you have a coffee at 12 o'clock, could still be in your system by 8 p.m, 9 p.m, 10 p.m, which is blocking your adenosine so you don't feel tired. So it's actually a lot harder for you to sleep. And I'm guilty of this, but try not to have caffeine past like maybe 2 p.m, 3 p.m, 4 at the most, depending on what time you go to bed. The earlier you can cap it off or not have it at all, better your sleep will be. Last tip that you can implement right now is by creating and implementing a wind down routine. So an hour or 2 hours before you want to go to bed, start winding down. Get off your computer or your phone or your TV, read a book, put on some blue light blocking glasses, turn off and dim the lights. Make sure your room's cold, as when it's cold, it's easier for us to sleep. Just do boring stuff because it will make you feel more tired. Don't go and eat, don't go and scroll on your phone, because those sort of things stimulate you and will keep you awake. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you learned some quick sleep tips and understand now how sleep works and why it's so important. Stop watching this video, go to bed, leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe. Remember, all publicity is good publicity. Let me know how much you're sleeping in the comments down below.